everybody, and welcome to this week's Spartan Sports Roundup here on TV3. And Brent Duncan joins Sam and me, and we're always happy to have him come by. And I know you got some news about a girls' sectional coming up shortly.
Next Tuesday, we open up the girls 3A sectional down at South Dearborn.
You get the honor of opening up, playing the first game.
We seem to get that a lot of times. So us and the Batesville Bulldogs will tip off at 7 o'clock next Tuesday night, and we'll have a sectional meeting Wednesday, so we'll have a little more information to put out Wednesday afternoon.
So a victory would put them in round 2 and against Lawrenceburg, who drew the bye?
Lawrenceburg drew the bye and get the winner of our game in Batesville, and that's good to play in, but that would be our third time once we get there, and I think they're 18-0 or 19-0 or wherever they're at right now. So
the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Hey, third time's a charm, so let's hope we get there.
Yeah.
They probably are the favorite of the section, would you say?
Oh, yeah, by far, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. Well, you never know.
No, that's why they put the uniforms on. That's why they throw the ball up.
Why they play the game.
Pretty good teams there, though. Lawrenceburg, Greensburg,
Rushville.
East Central out there.
Well, that's right. They're not.
That's conference.
I keep thinking
this isn't a conference tournament.
We have them on Thursday.
We got them, yeah. So, yeah, they're pretty good, though, too.
They're usually big.
Yes.
So,
So it should hopefully be some wins here for the Lady Spartans. You never know. I know their season
that's
hasn't
what we
been
always hope.
Real good, but they've got East Central coming up Thursday night. Final game of the regular season already.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that next week is February, but coming Saturday. But
sure.
It's senior night Thursday night for the girls, so we'll introduce and recognize Tylissa Beckner and Cheyenne Young before the girls' game starts after the JV game. So those are only 2 seniors on the team. So
these girls have been playing, and they've sacrificed a lot to play Lady Spartan basketball.
Yeah, I mean, Tylissa and Cheyenne are both multiple sport athletes, so they got to budget their time and balance their time, and both of them are good students, so that all comes into play as well. So I'm sure they'll have a few tears in their eyes, and that's why we kind of changed a few years back to do that before the game starts, so they have 20 minutes of warm-up to get all those emotions back in the right place, if you can get the emotions back in the right place. So.
That's true. Speaking of senior night, when will the boys have their senior night? We have 2 home games after
February 25th. We'll do it against the Northeastern, the last game of the year, Northeastern. So.
Okay, and that will the boy-girls thing? When
February 21st, Franklin County.
Okay.
Beat Cancer in Fourth Quarter night. So if you'd like to donate to Beat Cancer in Fourth Quarter, you can send your money and buy a T-shirt and get online and look on the ConnersvilleAthletics.com page to find information how to buy your apparel, and we'll take any donations that we can raise to donate to the Cancer Society.
Some exciting things coming up toward the end of the season.
Always seems to be, and it's just hard to believe that we're talking about those already.
I know.
Seems like we just got started.
This happens when you get older, doesn't it? Go faster. That's what they keep telling me.
I want to talk to you about the boy Spartans for a minute. Hitting some bumps in the road the last few games. That number 9 is hard to, or number 10 is hard to find.
Well, it's been elusive, that's for sure, but I didn't get a chance to go down and watch us at Batesville. I saw a little bit on the SEI show, but not to put on any competitors. But we've had some sickness, so we've not been at full strength. So we've had the flu that seems to have hit us pretty much on the last two weeks or so. So we've not been blown out, but we've given up some leads and struggled to execute when we needed to execute. And sometimes that's just the wrong time, wrong play at the wrong time.
It's all been close.
Well, 8's the biggest margin of defeat that we've had of the 6 losses. So we've been right there, and some of those we've been ahead late in the games, or at least in the fourth quarter, and just didn't make the right plays at the right time. So, but everybody remembers the end and forgets all those you did in the first quarter. That we had a 9-point lead on Batesville, and probably took some ill-advised shots at times, or in the wrong spot, and didn't take care of the ball, and made a crucial foul, and hit a 3, and then they got 3 free throws with no time on the clock. And
key player went down.
Don't know the status of Ethan yet, so I know he went down in the second quarter, knee, I think. So I hope he's out getting it looked at today to kind of get us an idea of what we're looking at. So.
Well, we wish him the best, but you could tell when he went down, he was in a lot of pain, and he was grabbing.
Had to be helped off the floor. So. Free throw shooting, we haven't been to the free throw line very much, and the other team has. How do you draw fouls?
I hope the officials blow the whistle. I'm sure we're getting bumped. Coach Brown and I had a little conversation about that this morning. He says, we're putting them on the line way too much.
Yes.
And some of that could either be just reaching and hacking, not moving your feet, not in the right spots or whatever. But I'm sure we're getting bumped as much as they are. But we don't have that one guy that I think can just get to the rack like we've had in the past couple of years over top to bottom that can get in there and draw those fouls. So
Brent, Garrett.
when you get it inside, you got to be aggressive and go up strong and not fall away or kind of lean backwards. You sometimes got to create the contact. And you saw that the Greensburg kids, I thought, did a good job on us of creating the contact. Whether they were fouls or not, they were getting them called because they leaned into you, got your arms hit, and all those things. So you never know what the officials are looking at either.
Right, they see it. They're closer to the play, so maybe we should say the official's always right.
Well, it comes down to it. That's the way it's going to be.
That's true, too. Yeah,
Whether they are or not, they are.
You don't see a call very often reversed.
No, not unless it's just one of those that get deflected by somebody, and then they might overrule it.
You know, I'm really glad we don't send officials to the monitor like they do in professional and collegiate sports. That, to me, let the ruling on the court or on the field stand. It's just they spend way too much time doing that.
Well, I think tennis got it started with the lines are all called by the Cyclops or whatever they call that thing today. And now baseball's going to experiment with it this summer with an electronic strike zone. So with a little ear monitor piece to the official to say ball or strike, and then they're going to call it. But the computer's going to tell them what it is. So Lord knows before long we might have a sensor in the basketball or the football that tells you if you made the first down or not. So or made the hoop or stepped on the line or whatever it is. So. But no, I'm not a fan of the instant replay because it slows down the game. So
eliminating humans, that's bad luck for us. I mean, we don't see that happen.
For what?
The humans being eliminated.
Well, no, I don't know if you could ever take them out. I don't know if the robot could call the game or the machine could call the game. But I don't know. There's something too about. There's always going to be mistakes. You got to learn how to adapt and overcome what they're doing. So whether you agree with them or not. It's part of life, ups and downs and rights and wrongs. So,
anything else under spring sports? Getting ready there. 5 spring sports track?
Yeah, 6. Because you got boys and girls, but they fire off first. I think on February 17th, first official day of track practice, and then everybody else fires up the first week of March. So it's track and field. Then it's softball March 9th, and the rest of them come in at March 16th. So won't be long. We'll be talking about track sectionals and.
Be here shortly, so
hopefully it'll be a nice spring. I'm worried we didn't have a very good winter. We don't have a wet, rainy spring, and that just throws a monkey wrench into everything. So.
Yeah, athletic director's nightmare, I guess, is trying to reschedule games.
Yeah, there's so many games in softball and baseball,
Sure.
and it's such a short period of time. It's just sometimes hard to reschedule, and I know parents and players don't always understand that, but what we have in our schedule and what they have in our schedule and trying to find an open date doesn't always gel. So. Unless it's a conference game, then we'll get those things made up. But sometimes those non-conference games, just hard to fill in spots if it gets rained out.
Sure.
So.
Fieldhouse update, could you have one for us?
Well, they got goals going upside, painting's going on, so I haven't started laying the floors yet. But target date is March 1, they say. So.
What kind of floor will that have?
2 of them's that rubberized surface called Mondo flooring, and then 1 wooden court on the 3rd floor. So. That way on the rubberized we can play tennis and volleyball, and then we'll have volleyball court on the wooden one plus basketball. So.
Is the exterior pretty well completed so they can?
It's pretty much boxed in. Completely.
Okay,
There's still not everything because they're still bringing things in and out the inside, but they are hanging up whatever you want to call the coverings above the door, the awnings above the doors today, putting those on. So you can start to see it come to gel together and start to look like it's what it's going to look like.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Well, it's been good weather for building.
Yeah, I think we got lucky that there wasn't a lot of snow and a lot of ice, so that kind of got them a little bit of leg up once they got going. So.
Do you anticipate when it's done a grand opening or an open house or the public to come to see?
There'll be something. We haven't sat down and talked, and we know what the final date line is and the target date is.
Yet this school year?
Whether it's this year or beginning of the next year, I don't know yet.
Okay.
So.
It's going to get a lot of use, I know, from all the kids that are participating in sports.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how to sign time, so it may not be when they want it, maybe when I put them in there. So it's just a lot easier if I say you got this time and you have that time. If you can't, you work it out with the coaches to make those switches. So we'll see how that goes. Between Trent and I, we'll get that covered. So maybe Mandy. It's all three involved. So
Well, it's going to be a great project.
take all three of us to keep it going, I think. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a big undertaking, I think.
Nah, but it's needed. That'll be great for our kids.
Yes, yes.
Can't complain.
Yeah. Well, we're anxious to get it going, and most of the schools we play have a field house like that, a facility.
Lawrenceburg kind of has a similar one. Batesville's got an extra gym with like a couple of things in a wrestling room. Of course, East Central has one. Pendleton Heights has one. Greensburg has one. They're becoming more prevalent places that we go. So New Pal's getting ready to build a new one or add on to theirs with one. So lots of places have them.
It'll help our sports program at CHS, I know.
Should be able to. That way in the wintertime and the off season, we got a place to put people and get some practice time instead of a hallway or trying to run outside around the loop or wherever we're running. So
I think it's a selling point for our community when we want to bring new businesses to town and say quality of life. We have this great school system that we have and these great facilities.
Well, you hope that kids come here for sports and they see what we have to offer. Not that we're trying to use it as a recruiting tool, but if they can come here with good facilities, then they find out they can get all those early college, high school credits that they can get. I mean, what's there not to like? You can save lots of money by coming here, getting your credits before you head off to college, if that's the path you want to take. So.
Exactly.
But
along with a good career center if you don't want to go take the college courses, although much of that is needed there as well now too.
Well, we have a lot of kids that get dual honors and dual degrees or whatever you want to call them, technical honors, because a lot of them will go over there to the career center and get something as well as getting the honors diploma over here at the high school. So that's good for both Steve and the Duncan at the career center and the high school, because you're getting those kids to overlap. So.
Might look at sports this week at CHS. Monday, round 2 of the Eastern Indiana Conference tourney at South Dearborn for the boys freshmen. How are we doing?
Unfortunately, we lost Saturday in the opening round, so we're back to practice today. So
okay, so that
they're gearing up for Friday night's game with the Mount Vernon Marauders right now. So.
Okay. On Wednesday, the freshman conference tourney continues, but the Spartans won't be there, so that's enough of that. Who did they lose to?
Lost to Franklin County, 45-40. So.
Another close game. What's going on here?
Ball's not bouncing
That's right, not bouncing right at the right end of the court here. On Thursday, the Lady Spartans gymnasts are home with Muncie Central at 6:30 start at the CHS gym. Lady Spartans basketball with East Central at Spartan Bowl. Games at 6 and 7:30. Final regular season games on Friday. Spartan basketball with Mount Vernon at Spartan Bowl. Freshman junior varsity. By the way, those kids have an 11-1 record. They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they had the unfortunate loss up at Newcastle.
Lost by 4,
they're getting better.
Yeah, they are.
You hear things, and they're not quite ready for the varsity level yet, but there's a huge difference between still where they're playing that next level, but you can see improvement and the thoughts that in the future looks good as long as they continue to get stronger, and that's the biggest part about kids coming from the 8th grade. I don't care how good they were in 8th grade and get to be a freshman. It's tough to play a 17 and 18-year-old just strength-wise and speed-wise.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody thinks about how their records were in the middle school, but don't realize there's just a major jump between being an 8th grade basketball player and a varsity basketball player in Connersville High School and the teams that we're playing.
Yes.
So I see good positive things out of them. They're unselfish and they play hard, and I think they generally like each other and enjoy just winning. So hopefully they'll continue to do that, and everybody will be patient and let them grow and not put too much pressure on them by saying what they think they should become. So let them earn their way to get there and put the time in to get to that point. So.
When you play 3 games like that, they use Spartan Arena for the freshman
team? Yeah, we'll
team?
play the freshmen in the Spartan Arena Friday night at 6, and we'll play the JV at 6 in the bowl.
Right, okay. Goodness.
And we'll have corporate sponsor night at halftime of the varsity game.
So that's Friday night at CHS. On Saturday, wrestling sectional, 9 o'clock start at Franklin County. Spartan basketball at Indianapolis North Central. Games at 6 and at 7:30. North Central kind of pulled an upset Saturday night when they played Lawrence North.
Yeah, I heard they got beat. I didn't see the scores. I didn't look at the box
scores. Friday night, 10-point.
Well, we got a tough couple of weekends in boys basketball coming back to back, but
We beat them last year, both of them.
I can't tell you what time start, but our bowlers are competing for the state title come Saturday.
Oh, great, yeah.
So they'll be out representing CHS. I don't know the exact start time. I saw their email come, but I didn't read it all the way through yet. So we want to wish the bowling team good luck Saturday as they head off to try to bring a state tournament title home to the Connersville. So.
It's not an IHSA thing.
No, it's not an IHSA sanctioned sport. So there's a lot of schools in the state that have it. It's been discussed a little bit, but some of that has to do with when you can bowl and can you bowl in the league when you're on a high school team. The answer to that's no. Most of the bowling leagues are in the wintertime, so it's kind of gotten gets to be a little stepping point.
We have an archery team too, don't we?
We have an archery club. Yep.
Right.
So
that's
I try to stay out of the cafeterias on certain days after school, just in case.
They might mistake you for
might have
something.
made somebody mad that day. I don't know.
But it's good to see those kids are in sports, even though they aren't sanctioned.
Yeah, and, they're classified as clubs at this time.
Okay.
The state doesn't have archery. If you go to different states, Kentucky has bass fishing as a state championship, so that's a recognized sport in Kentucky. So everybody's got a little bit different. Up north, you can play hockey in Minnesota. So, and our problem, with bowling is not every school has the opportunity to have a bowling alley, and so you're at the mercy of the bowling lanes because they're there for a business and they're giving up time for our kids to come and bowl, and we appreciate that. So. We'll never know. It may come in at times. We'll see. So
down the road, you never get a new commissioner. Why?
You never know what changes come August 1. So
do you vote on the executive board? Are they the guys that elect the commissioner?
we'll have a meeting in February to decide how things will be done. So
okay. So it's
the
not.
personnel committee is talking about it right now. So they're meeting
not-
Thursday to discuss the protocol of what they're going to do. So we'll find out.
Which way do you lean?
Left some days and right to others.
That's politicians. You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I don't have a preference right now.
Sure, I know, but it'll be an exciting time, and I know you have a lady assistant commissioner, so who knows?
Yeah, we have two ladies. We had Sandra Valdez, Carrie Schluecker, and then we got Paul Neidig, Chris Kaufman, and Robert Falcons that are the three male assistant commissioners. So I got a feeling some of them will put their names in, but
Sure.
I don't think they all will. And I'm sure there'll be some outside people that want to put their names in. So
And that has to happen before August 1?
I think they want something in place and done by March 1st so that they can have all summer to kind of intern and
Okay.
job shadow with
sure.
Bobby. So
So interesting times up on North Meridian.
it'll be different. So
Okay. The middle school in basketball, girls red team home with Newcastle on Wednesday, Spartan Arena at 5:30. The girls white team is home with Richmond Dennis on Monday, so that's underway. Tuesday at South Dearborn, they'll play 5:30 tip-off, and they go to Union Modoc on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Wrestling at the middle school, Tuesday at Batesville at 5:30. Here's how area boys basketball teams are doing. Cambridge City is 10-5. They won at Edinburgh 63-42. Friday they'll be at Northeastern. Union County is 4-10. They won 54-49 over Tri. They're home with Centerville Wednesday. Home with Eastern Hancock on Saturday. Centerville is 3-10. The Bulldogs lost to South Decatur 67-36. They're at Union County, as we pointed out on Wednesday. Franklin County 5-9. They lost 71-64 to South Decatur. Saturday they go to Talawanda, Ohio. Richmond is 9-7. They won 77-71 in overtime at Pendleton Heights. Home Friday with Harrison and West Lafayette, and home Saturday with Winchester. Russia 4-10. The Lions lost at Northeastern 57-44. They'll be at Knightstown on Tuesday. Home with South Dearborn on Friday. So some of the area teams will be playing Northeastern, and we close with Northeastern.
yep, that'll be senior night on, I think it's the 25th of February. So
On a Tuesday night, I think.
gives us a week to get ready for the opening night of the sectional.
Right,
So.
right.
Which will be at the Grand Palace.
It will be since what? First time since what? 2006?
I think
guess,
so.
right?
When we were in 3A previously.
That'd be about right. So I think that was the last time we were there. So it'd be
It's
great to
13,
have a host.
13 years we've had a sectional, a boys sectional.
Well, I don't
It's
know,
been
dude.
that, yeah,
It's been a while.
it's been a while.
Yeah, you say 2006?
Maybe 2006 we might not host. We might have been at South Dearborn that year. So, but it's been a while since we've been down there to host. I had to go back and look at the exact date. But 2006 is sticking in my brain. So
We hosted a girls section.
had a girls a couple 3 years ago.
And then we had a boys 2A.
Regional about 5 years
That
ago.
was a regional. Our tutor was here.
Yep. I bet it's been longer than 5 years. It's been probably 5 or 6 years. So
Well,
Yogi Farrell.
Yogi Farrell, and he's been out of IU for
a couple years.
or more.
Yeah.
Time flies.
And I don't think he was here the last year we had it, but I could be wrong. So
No.
I know our people missed it when we didn't get it back. So
Yeah, I got to meet John Beeline there. They were trying to recruit Yogi, and he was so impressed with Spartan Bowl.
yeah, a lot of big time people come in and watch him play. So it's a good time.
And now, maybe we could get some of them tournaments in this, since Richmond's downsizing down to about 5,100 seats.
We'll see what the IHSA puts out when they offer.
Yeah.
We always volunteer. I always tell them we'll host whatever you need me to host. So we're open to anything as long as we have the facility to do it. So.
Sam, before the show, was pointing out that they're making changes at Richmond. New code is in effect, and I know we have people asking why railings aren't put in Spartan Bowl. Here we go, and it's a money thing in a way, isn't it? And losing seats, you don't want to lose
seats.
Right.
You'll lose possibly visibility based on the rails, but once you start changing one thing, then you got to bring the entire building up to today's code. So that could be HVAC. It could, I don't know all would be entailed, but there could be a lot more than just putting rails in.
I know that when we go around and you see gyms that have pull-out bleachers where they put new ones in, the aisles are much wider and they give up a lot of seats. So I don't think we want to mess with something that's good. I know that you've put folding chairs around the top of the bowl for those that maybe can't get down into the lower sections, but which I think is a good alternative.
Yeah, I mean, it gives them an opportunity where they don't think they can get down the steps but still come see the game. And, you know, if they got concerns about how to get their seat, they can always come and see me, and we'll do our best to get them to where they need to go. So between myself and Trent and Brian Edgecombe, the custodian, or my maintenance guy, we'll make sure we can try to get them where they need to go.
Chairlift in the tunnel still works?
We've had people use the chairlift if they need to get down with the chair. So.
At one time, we had temporary bleachers at the bowl shortly after it opened because when regionals would be here, we would increase the seating to about 6,000, and that's not to be done anymore.
I don't think them bleachers
Bleachers are history.
So
They had that at Newcastle too, and they did away with them, and then they
have some tip and roll bleachers now that they roll out and put in a couple of those corners.
yeah,
So.
that since Seymour tried to claim the largest, the Alfords led a charge up there to keep Newcastle the largest. But I guess until we start selling out what we have, not much need to put in
We
tents.
talked a little bit about it for the sectional because I think it could be a large pack, but we just don't have the capability of putting those bleachers in there right now. We don't have any extras at the middle school, so. We'll see. I've asked the schools about their pre-sale tickets, and some want 100 and some want 2, and somebody wants 25. So it's all going to come down to the draw and the matchups. And some people just don't want to pay the $10. It's cheap if you buy it first night. You get 4 nights for $10, or you can pay $6 each time you come to the door, which I'm okay with if you want to do it that way. So just more money for the coffers for the 7 schools that are there. So. Hopefully everybody will buy a season pass. We'll have more information here come end of February.
So in sectional, the money from sale of tickets is split among the schools. Is it proportionate with enrollment, or
split evenly amongst the 7? Whatever the profits minus 2%, which goes to the IHSA, the other 98% of the profits get split equally amongst the schools that are involved. There's been some talk about prorating it. If you only play one night, you shouldn't get as much as the one that come 3 nights, or if you play 2 nights, you don't get as much as the ones that
But
come
that's
3
luck of the
nights.
draw.
It is. So there's been a little talk amongst ADs about how you split that a little evenly for the person who's got to come 3 nights compared to the only person that coming 1, and making the same amount of money whose fans came 3 nights. So I don't know if it'll ever get traction, but it's been talked.
Is that the way all the tournaments are handled, or?
Just basketball, boys and girls, and football. Rest of it, all the profits go to the IHSA. Outside, you get your costs back for running it. So, and a host fee, which doesn't cover the host's feast time or energy or paperwork or whatever else. So, just a nice thing.
But it's
just a nice.
It's important to host as much as you can.
Oh, I'd host them all if they let me. So, but they don't like to do that.
So the boys section will have 7 teams.
Same 7 schools.
Right, conference schools.
Yep.
Okay.
Minus East Central.
And they will have 1 game on Tuesday night.
2 on Wednesday, 2 on Friday, and 1 on Saturday, just like the girls.
Okay.
So 7, 6, 6, and
It's a little
7:30.
different than what we've been used to with 6 because it was Tuesday, Friday,
Right.
Saturday.
Yep. So
So the team that plays Tuesday night will play the first game on Wednesday night.
play the first game on Friday night. If you win Tuesday,
Oh,
you're in the
okay.
semifinals.
Oh, automatically.
Because there's 4 other teams going to play on Wednesday night. So
Okay.
be nice to have the Lawrenceburg draw and just be in the semifinals on Friday without playing. Doesn't always get what you want, but that'd been great.
That's the way it goes, huh?
Hey, some days the shorter route, the better. You can battle those wars for 3 games. Some days I'll take 1 and get me to the finals and take my chances. So,
Well, I know the fans are looking forward to having a sectional, and we hope by then the boys have worked all the kinks out and the kids
well, hopefully we
return.
get our injuries done, and of course we'll find out with Ethan and get through the
Right.
flu bug and get everybody back to full strength. So, we lost Ethan and we didn't have Garrett Wicks on Saturday
Right.
because he was home with the flu, and he's
That's
back
good.
at school today. I saw him. So, hopefully, knock on wood, I don't jinx the girls. I haven't noticed it too much. I think Paige went through a little bit early and a couple others earlier, but knock on wood, they seem to be fairly healthy. So, I probably just jinxed them, but let's hope not.
I'm sure the new coach for the Lady Spartans, Michelle, will be working hard during the off season, and
Well, we all know that players are made in the off season, and the seasons where you tweak it and get to shine and polish it and show what you learned all through the summertime. So we'll get in there. And then, of course, this weekend the boys wrestling's down at Franklin County for the sectional. They got their seating meeting tonight, so I want to wish them good luck. And
yes,
hopefully we get a few pushed through to the regional the next weekend at Richmond, and be good for our kids and our team. So
I think our kids have been improving, haven't they?
yeah, I think the kids who've put the time in and want to be a part of it, there's great improvement in them. They're still learning. Some of them didn't start wrestling until last year, so and we unfortunately had one break his leg, and then he's missed, so that kind of hurt us a little bit. But I think Mac and Justin do a good job with them.
Yes.
The kids that are listening and working hard have made a lot of improvements and are getting better. And hopefully we'll get some good draws and get everybody, as many as we can, through the next level.
Sure, the main thing would be to have all the weight classifications filled, so you don't have to
Yeah,
forfeit.
before we had the injuries, we could fill 11 of the 14, and now
Right.
we can only get 10. Obviously, we have a couple more people to wrestle, but unfortunately, they're in the same weight class as somebody that they can't out-wrestle right now, so you earn your spot. If I can beat the guy or lady above me, that's my spot. So,
You meet a full staff, a team with a full staff. You're down how many?
every match you forfeit is 6 points. So if we are already 18 points in the hole before, now we're 24 points in the hole to start with because you're going to forfeit 3 of the weight class or 4 of the weight classes. So now the sectional is a little different, although because you had other people, but we're not going to place in 4 of those weight classes because we won't have a wrestler in it. So
Okay, so that'll be at Franklin County this
Franklin County this year, it's at Franklin County 1 year and South Dearborn the next year. So
9 o'clock starts for the wrestling fans of CHS, and hopefully have a good following for the kids.
we always do. There's always a lot of people there for them. So
It'll be an interesting thing. Spartans win a couple, one Friday and one Saturday. The girls win Thursday. It'll be a successful week. And
we take a sweep.
but December will be a tough match for
They'll
them.
be tough. They'll be big and they'll be strong like they always are. And we just have to take care of the ball and possess it.
Yeah.
Make sure you cherish what you have in your hands when you got it, and just
Play smart, play hard, play with a lot of
it's not
energy.
a hot potato, and you don't have to throw it right away. So that's just learning, putting in those situations. So
Thanks a lot, Brent, for joining us, and we'll welcome you back next week.
hopefully I'll get somebody that can come next week. So but we'll
Okay.
have somebody here.
Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Good night.